Hey, hey, hey! Good evening. The dog is back in the house again. A very happy house after yet another come from behind win, driven by the injustice of a harshly disallowed goal. So, where do I start with the breakdown of the match, right? I think we will take it from the top. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer going with his favoured, more defensive 4-2-3-1 formation away from home. Pogba on the left of the front three behind Cavani, including Rashford and Bruno Fernandes. And I will allude to this a little bit later. So the game started off very attritional. A lot of the play was centered around the midfield. We started like a team who had just come back from an away performance in Europe, in this case in Spain against Granada. I think the game came alive in the 34th minute with a moment of large controversy, I should say. Well, a pass from McTominay to Pogba, and I think wonderfully he set up Cavani. He held the ball up and just dragged it back and then pushed it through to Cavani, who made a wonderful run and finished off past Lloris. The controversy came when the play was pulled back by VAR, and the referee was actually asked to go and look at the monitor at the side of the pitch to decide whether the goal would stand, and he actually decided to cancel out the goal for a foul on Son by McTominay. For me, I think personally it was a very harsh decision. We know players tend to go down now a little bit softly when they're touched, and no fault I think should be attached to Son in this case. I think even Rashford went down a little easily earlier, just slightly before that, when he was actually faced with a challenge from Lo Celso, just moments before actually. However, the decision by the referee actually is really confounding, really mind-boggling in the sense that McTominay was actually being pulled by Son, and to release his arm, he actually just flicked his arm back a little bit, and it did catch Son on the face, but it was a very slight touch. So I think very harsh decision to disallow a wonderfully built-up goal, and I think after that we lost a little bit of concentration, and 6 minutes after the disallowed goal, Spurs actually took the lead. And to rub the salt into the wounds, the goal had to be scored by Son. So I think also probably Lindelof, probably wrong-footed, and he actually didn't make the clearance, and the ball went to Lucas Moura, who then set up Son. I think what is Henderson's role? I think in the halftime analysis for Astro, Mark Hughes was a bit critical about Henderson, saying that he should have gone, with a full-length dive instead of with his feet. But I think in this case, I don't think any blame should be attached to the keeper. I think Henderson had a decent game. He made a couple of saves with his feet. He also was very commanding of his box, and even outside the box when a couple of through balls, he actually was very quick off his line to clear it before it became a threat. Ole must be doing something right with his halftime team talks. I think he's inspired the team back in the second half in many games this season. And I think one key point I'd like to point out here is actually he did make a tactical tweak when the team came out for the second half. So from his 4-2-3-1, Pogba actually moved more back to the center to play alongside McTominay and Fred, and that allowed him the freedom to sort of express himself from the center of the park and to dictate the game, and hence his performance in the second half was one of his best of the season, I would think. Then came the equalizer from Fred, his first goal in over 2 years in the league for over 2 years. What I thought was wonderful was the interplay, the quick 1-2 between Fred, Rashford, Fernandes before putting Cavani through for a shot on goal, and he actually followed through to slot home after Lloris had palmed the ball into his path. Tight, right to the top of the goal, and some may think he would have probably missed it, but did well to finish. After that, I think we dominated the game. Bruno Fernandes had a long range shot, well saved by Lloris, and Pogba had a wonderful chance which I really thought he should have actually taken his time to swivel and volley it home, and instead of going for the back heel that he went, which allowed Eric Dier, I believe, to block his back heel at the goal. We battered the Spurs in the second half, and finally took the lead through Cavani. I think Cavani had a wonderful game. He made a lot of fantastic striker-like runs, and what we've seen is the other strikers that we have in the team. Rashford, Martial, Greenwood. They tend not to make these runs in the box that Cavani does. I think he also frees up a lot of space for the players around him, and I think for a guy his age, he showed tremendous heart throughout the game. Even at the end, when we were trying to keep the ball in their half, he was making runs to try and hold up the ball, and really a fantastic centre forward's performance by him. For the goal, I think a good nutmeg from Fernandes, and a wonderful first time cross from Greenwood, and a typical striker's goal from Cavani, heading, really textbook, heading the ball back in the direction that he came. Wonderful diving header to make it 2-1. And then following that, he also helped to add some moments of stress to my heart. I think he headed the ball against his own post from a corner, and I think finally the win was sealed by Mason Greenwood. So in the 6th minute of injury time, he ran through, and when Mason Greenwood is running at you, sometimes you don't know which way he's going to go. He can go right, he can go left, and most people think he favors the left foot. So that may have actually prompted the Spurs defender to try and force him onto his right. And the moment he cut right and fired a real good sharp strike on goal past Lloris, and that actually settled us down 3-1. Avoided any squeaky bum time, last minute issues or equalizers, and overall I think a wonderful performance, taking advantage of City's slip up. If we win our other game in hand, we could bring it down potentially to 8 points, and for whatever it's worth, just put the pressure on City, and let's see what happens. We can just do our part by winning our games, and hope that with the distraction of Europe, the Champions League, they might slip up. Who knows? The ball is round, anything can happen. We just have to keep winning, and then see how it is towards the last 3 games of the season. So we march onward towards the second leg of the Europa League semi-finals against Granada. Although we're leading 2-0, I'm still a little bit worried with the some of our key defenders, and also McTominay out through suspension. I think we still should have enough quality at home to see this through. So until then, hope for the best, and a path into the semi-finals of the Europa League, and glory Man United. See you.